welcome back to Nando Talk. Happy New Year's, everybody. Bada bing, bada bam. It's 2023. And while it has been an interesting 2022, to say the least, for the Miami Dolphins, definitely tough right now starting off the year with the loss to the Patriots. And we'll talk about that all in a second. But first and foremost, we didn't do a stream today because there's prayers out to Damar Hamlin, who had a very scary incident on Monday Night Football. CPR was needed on the field. He's currently still in critical condition in Cincinnati Hospital, and prayers out to him and his family. Some things are much bigger than football, and just didn't really feel the need to do a stream today. So sorry about that, but prayers out to him first and foremost. His health comes first. As for the Dolphins, I will talk about that in a second, but I do want to cover some Nando Talk updates as we are coming into the new year, as I'm starting a new school semester, as I'm transitioning to a new job, hopefully a little bit more social media marketing for me and a little paid internship. We'll talk about that if that does unroll and unfold for me. But in the meantime, let's talk about some new little structural changes to Nando Talk. I will add a timestamp to skip to if you'd like to just listen to me talk about the Dolphins and the situation we currently find ourselves in as we prepare for a week 18 against the Jets. Win or die, win or go home. And a game that a lot of us have already written us off. We'll talk about it. But I'll put the timestamp. Here it begins, the Nando Talk updates, guys. For this new year, like I said, I will be doing the Tuesday and Thursday streams pretty consistently. We'll be having live streaming with Talk It Out Tuesdays, Think Ahead Thursdays. I do have to think ahead to finalize a time. I'm still picking my classes, but we will get that soon. And I'll make a community post or a video about it. But Talk It Out Tuesdays will typically be more of a, well, it's in the name, guys. We're going to be talking out. Typically would be a Dolphins win or loss. If we're in the playoffs, we can still cover that. If not, we'll be kind of starting the week talking about some topics that might have happened over the weekend, maybe some draft news, maybe some Dolphin speculations. We'll talk it out. We'll talk our feelings out. Think ahead Thursdays for game day purposes will really be us thinking ahead to the weekend of games, maybe to the weekend of the draft, weekend of free agency. But for all purposes, it'll be us covering ahead. Tuesdays will be a recap. Thursdays will be a little bit looking ahead. And it'll be a nice, fun time to be able to talk with you, Dolphins fans, to hear my perspective on things, whether it's in the past, whether it's the future. Always a little dash of optimism and positivity, but still fun times. And I hope to have plenty of Dolphins fans, football fans there to interact and shoot the shit with me a little bit. So tune in for those. But we'll also be trying to bring back a little bit of Fitness Fan of the Week or Football Fan of the Week. I've been wanting to do weekly interviews with Dolphins fans, with football fans, get their perspective. I am younger. I'm 24. There's a lot of older football fans who've seen plenty of more ball than I have. And I'd love to hear their unique perspective on different things of this Dolphins team, their fan base, maybe even from an outside looking in, someone who's been around other organizations and wants to see what they've seen about our Dolphins team. But I think it'd be a very fun time. And, I'm a small fry, but we can get some bigger fish, reel in the white whales, and we can get some nice, cool guests. That'd be a fun time as well. And also just get people, random people, regular people on, fellow Fins fans, fellow football fans, a fun time. And of course, during the offseason, I'll have Dolphins news, draft stuff, free agency moves, little projections on coaching maybe. We'll be doing some edits, either some player highlights or just cool little photos, just mainly videos is what I want to work on. It's going to be a fun time this offseason. But as for content as well, guys, it's going to be a fun time indeed, because I will also be adding my buddy who I already started doing a podcast show with, met 2-3 years ago, with the thing that got me back into speaking on a mic, the Fumble Brewski. I think you might have seen it with me and my buddy Spencer. Shout out the legend. Him and I have a nice, decent show. Sometimes we run it. We've struggled to be more consistent, so Spencer will be joining me on Nando Talk. We'll be doing once a week or twice a week, still finalizing what works best for him as he lives in New York, and I'd love to have a nice, consistent schedule with him. We'll do some Dolphins talk, but it'll also be a nice way to hear about more around the NFL, a longer 40 minutes to an hour show of us basically doing some Dolphins talk in the beginning and then diving into more around the NFL, around the league. And it'll be a nice, fun time to catch up and hear what I've got to say about the rest of the NFL. Well, we'll take a little bit of the positivity hat off. We'll leave the homer hat over there. and maybe we'll be coming out with a little bit of tinfoil magic action, give you some nice little takes, or just nice rambunctiousness, guys. It's gonna be a fun time. But without further ado, that really does capture most of the change that should be coming to the caption to the channel. I'm sorry. I'll be adding that underneath in the description. The little blunder out there, but it's going to be a fun 2023, balancing the channel, work, school, and just having a good time creating content, sharpening my craft, honing my skills, improving my editing, not only for this video, but for highlights, for player edits, whatever it may be, for improving my speaking skills so I don't make little blunders and just be more entertaining and bring whole new fresh content for you guys in this new year. The road to 1,000 subscribers continues. But like I said, that captures all of the main changes. And so now we'll do a quick little Dolphins rant and tant. So guys, the Miami Dolphins. Well, I guess I do not know a single thing about the Miami Dolphins, or maybe I just chose to forget because it seems that once again the Dolphins have suffered a collapse of epic proportions, a collapse that has seen us go from 8-3 to 8-8 to relying once again on the last game of the seasons to try to squeeze into the playoffs, to hope that other teams lose so that we win and take care of business. And once again, we are in control of our destiny, but it's not pretty, guys. Even a positive man as myself, I've left the homer hat on the table for a reason. It's time to face reality. This season, if we make the playoffs, I won't say it's a failure, but it's definitely not what we expected it to be. It is not the magical run that we expected. And as we have hit significant road bumps, significant hits that they've taken their toll. Injuries, questionable coaching calls, leaps that were not actual leaps, maybe from certain players. And it's been tough, a tough pill to swallow. The silver lining is that our season is technically still alive and we still can make the playoffs. If we beat the Jets, as the Bills beat the Patriots. But as to whether we are going to make a magical Super Bowl run, if we're going to make some noise in the playoffs, there's not a lot of confidence and not a lot of faith. When we get to if we get to the playoffs, records reset, none of it matters. It's all clean football. But if Tua's not healthy, if this offense isn't ready to click without Teron Armstead, if the secondary is too banged up to continue, if the defense continues to not put up a full game at times, if we just don't play complete football as a Dolphins team, it's tough to see where we're going to be at, guys. But I do believe this Dolphins team can still pull it together. I do think that this isn't a complete throw away everything, reload, rebuild, tear it down to the studs. No, this is still a talented team. We're going to have to ask a bunch of tough questions in the offseason, but it's time to finish on a high note. I'll be breaking down this game a little bit further. I'm definitely streaming tomorrow on Wednesday, and I'll be doing Think Ahead Thursday to start covering the Jets game as well. But it's time to rally. It's time to come together. If Skylar Thompson's the QB, put a better game plan than what we saw for him this Sunday because it was not too pretty against the Patriots. Play good football. Play for the man to the left and right of you. Now more than ever we see, especially with the DeMar Hamlin situation, how scary football is. So I'm not going to sit here and trash our Dolphins players. It's one of the reasons why I never do. It's one of the reasons why, despite how frustrated they make me sometimes, I try to focus on the positive and the good because football is a scary, dangerous sport. But I'll be damned if I'm not a little disappointed, and I won't be frustrated if we miss the playoffs and finish with a losing record with all the talent on this team and that we were 8-3. Injuries be damned. Sounded a little insensitive, but you know what I mean. It's frustrating to be a Dolphins fan at time, but you see the words on the sides, guys. Fins up, chins up. We'll be talking about a little bit more positive thoughts ahead. But for right now, Dolphins, get it together, step it up, start asking those hard questions now and get some wins because these fans deserve it. These fans put their blood, sweat, tears, their frustrations, their emotions, their money into this team, and they deserve to see brighter times ahead. So let's shake it up. Let's get a win. It's been too long since Victory Monday. Let's end the season on a strong note. Well, let's not even end the season. Let's make the playoffs and get to the next part of the season. And then we can talk about looking ahead. But the season is not over yet. Hang your head up high. Remember, chins up, fins up. and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It was mainly just to talk about the Nando Talk changes, and we'll be streaming on Wednesday to make up for the missed Tuesday stream, and on this Thursday, we'll be continuing Think Ahead Thursdays. But thank you for tuning in. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll add timestamps throughout. Thanks for tuning in. Bada bing, bada bam. I'll see you guys next time. This is a Nando Talk.